Welcome to Morning Infusion with Dr. V, where we are intentional about connecting you with other entrepreneurs who have overcome and want to provide value to the audience. It's Dr. V here, where our coaching program teaches nurses how to work on their computers anywhere around the world, making money and owning their own time, building profitable nurse coaching and consulting businesses. So this morning we have my friend Kelli Jackson. So Kelli, tell us a little bit about you. If you were to put up your bio and you were to say it, speak it out loud, what would they say about Kelli?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate you. Love the work that you're doing for all the wonderful nurses. You're amazing.
Thank you. I love you.
I don't know. I get this question, and I would say former talent acquisition leader. So I worked in a lot of corporations, working in recruiting before they got fancy and labeled it talent acquisition. And I took that information and best practices that I learned from a corporate environment. And I leveraged the skills that I had in staffing and recruiting and HR. And I created Careers by Kelli, which is a professional development for mid to late career corporate professionals. And I also created a couple of staffing agencies. So that long answer to your question, just, former TA leader out here trying to, help mid to late professionals enhance their careers.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So tell me a little bit about, first of all, I saw that you went to North Carolina Central University, did you?
Yeah, I did.
So it's so funny because we were on a call the other day with the speakers for the Six Figure Nurse CEO conference.
Yeah.
And one of the speakers, Kenya Gomez, so she went to North Carolina Central as well. And so one of the other speakers, which is Kendra Mickens, she went to North Carolina A&T. And so apparently y'all are rivals.
Apparently so.
She was like, take that shirt off, take it off. So it was super, super funny. So from you going to school at North Carolina Central University, when you transitioned into, so what was your degree at North Carolina Central?
Business management.
Business management.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you went into initially it was not talent acquisition, but eventually you got into talent acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
So now what made you say, well, I want to do this and I want to really, really help other people in this area?
Yeah. Great question. Well, when I first started, I was in human resources, and, within HR, there's several disciplines. You could go the employee relations route, compensation, payroll, you can go into staffing. And so I found that when I did recruiting, because I started my career as an HR clerk, they don't even say clerk anymore, so that I'm dating myself. But that meant that I did a little bit of everything, all the different disciplines in HR. But I found in recruiting, that's one of the disciplines where you can measure your work. And I'm very analytical in that way, that I like to see my work. I like to see the results of what I'm doing. And I like to have metrics and goals and benchmarks in place so I know where I'm headed. And this is what I teach my clients as well. We have to have a goal. It's like showing up at the airport, not knowing where to go, right? You got to pick a destination. And so I found, like, with compensation, it's ongoing. Payroll is ongoing. It doesn't stop. Everybody get paid, right? But when you have a what we call a requisition, a job opening, you're going to fill it and it closes. And then I get another one and I get a new type of role to work on, a new set of skills, even a new vertical, whether it's technical, hospitality, healthcare, manufacturing, oil and energy. I get to work on something, and I found that I got to learn a lot more. And I think we all love learning new things and challenges and things like that. So I'm like, you know what? I like this. So I stayed in it. This is, that's an area that I love. And then meeting, just a myriad of different people and personalities. And I loved every bit of it. And I still do to this day. So
I'm gonna go off topic here, and I'm gonna ask you a very controversial question. Okay.
Sure, let's do it.
So, a lot of times whenever nurses are in the profession, one of the things that they talk about is, so I am in, I have some issue going on with my management. They say go to HR to address it. Well, on the other end, there is this subset of people who say that HR is not there for the actual people who are in the organization. They're more there for the organization. So you tell me.
Facts. It's all facts. We are absolutely there for the organization. We represent the organization, hands down. That's it. That's all. Yeah, we're there to protect the organization and to protect everything about it. Now, we are there as advisors, as human resources. We're a resource for you. We're not there to protect you. We're going to protect the company. We're just a resource. If you got questions, we'll help you answer them. But all roads point back to the corporation. Yeah, that's easy.
I love it. I love it. That was easy. But it's interesting though, because there is this myriad there. I mean, really, people don't think of it that way. They think that human resources is there to protect them, when the reality is that that's not the case. They're there to protect the organization.
Yeah. And you know what? It's set up that way. It's a system, and I ain't gonna get on that soapbox, but it's a system. It's set up that way. And you're supposed to think that. All employees, you're supposed to think that. We're the nucleus. HR is the nucleus. We're the core of the company, right? And so we're supposed to get you to think that. And so tell us everything. So then we can go to the leadership and say, this is what they're saying. Y'all got to straighten up. It happens all the time.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay. So now let's jump into how you decided that you no longer wanted to work for someone else. You actually wanted to start your own business. So tell me why that transition happened. What was the catalyst for that transitioning happening?
Sure. So, oh gosh, ever since I was little, like me and my sister, we would play dress up. She hated it, but I made her like, you gonna play with me. And so, I was always a business owner, and I was always, upstairs in our house, the little hallway. I was walking to work in my mom's big old shoes and everything. So I've always done that. And I say that because all of us have that little girl or little boy inside of us where we had dreams. And oftentimes we don't realize those dreams when we become adult, because we get so convoluted in with life and experiences and things. And so it's always been in me, right? And so going to work and doing, things that, let me say it this way. I didn't have the room to be the creative that I am at heart. I didn't know that then. I know that now, and I can articulate it now, but I didn't know why I was so frustrated. I didn't know why I was so unmotivated. I didn't know why I felt like a slave. I hate to say that, but I just felt like I don't like people telling me what to do. And I would ask God, not trying to get religious. I'm just like, why do I feel like this?
Well, you can get religious all you want to on this show, just so you know. Go
ahead. It was deep inside of me. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up and trying to be animated or dramatic. It was deep inside. I'm like, why do I feel so miserable? And so it was the top of the year. And I'm like, something's got to give, God. Something's got to give. I don't know what. And that's the thing. God ain't going to tell you. That's what this faith thing is all about. That's what the faith thing. I'm so serious. I get them now. And I'll be fussing at God. But anyway, this faith thing. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. And so it was October. I was laying in my bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. I recorded myself because I said, listen, this is the tripped out part. I said, this is going to be for somebody else, because I've always liked helping other people. And I recorded myself in the bed, 5 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm going to work. I'm miserable. I hate it. I'm going to quit. I'm going into work, and I'm just going to document me up to the days I get ready to quit. I don't know when that's going to be. And I started documenting it until one day I'm like, this is it. Gave my notice. I had no plan, Dr. V. No plan. Right? Now, y'all listening, don't do that. I had no plan. I got to get out of there. And the other thing is, sitting in my cube, I had heart palpitations. I hated that place. And it was the politics and the unfairness and the discrimination. There was a lot of things coupled. It wasn't just Kelli just, deciding, right? There were things that were happening inside of the, where I was working that just weren't cool. And I couldn't take it. And it was like almost like people laughing at you. And I'm like, no, I'm better than this. I don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, I decided, I gave my notice, and I cried a lot because I didn't know it was the level of uncertainty. And we get used to those checks on the 1st and the 15th, right? That's security. That's what we think anyway. And so is it security that I want, or freedom to be creative and use my God-given talents? I want the freedom, whatever that is. So that's how I decided.
It's interesting that you said that we think that it's security, because I was listening to a video yesterday, and I forgot who the guy was, but he talked about security and how we think that we have security in our jobs. But the reality is that we don't have security until we have security in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so when we have security in ourselves, and that's when the game changer, because at any date and time, they can fire you, they can do whatever they want to do with you. And so understanding that is not security at all. So I love how you said that. So you quit with that. So when you say you documented what do you mean by that? So elaborate on that a little bit more.
Yeah. So like I said, that morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, like I couldn't sleep. I was so miserable, and I something had to give. I just didn't know what it was. And so I like I said, I recorded myself on the phone. I just hit the record button, not a video. Actually, it was, because I was in the dark, because I played it for my clients to show them I was where you were. Like, I don't want anyone coaching me that ain't had the experience, that ain't been through nothing. Everything ain't roses. So I wanted to show them where I was, right? And show them how you can get a transformation. And then I document myself at lunch, and I said, okay, I'm on my lunch hour, and I was in my car, and I showed them my food on my seat, and I was online, and I was getting my LLC, Georgia Secretary of State. I came up with my name. I was doing all this, and I was just documenting it. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I have no clue, but this is what's happening. And so I documented, and like I said, I left, and I cried. I was scared, but I'm a risk taker, because I believe you only got one life. You got one shot at this thing. And I want everything. I don't want to get to heaven and God say, here's what I had for you. But you were so scared and you didn't want to do it. And you walked around talking about you got faith. You didn't believe me. But here's what I had for you. And here's what you said. I'm like, he ain't going to tell me that. He ain't telling me that. Nope.
So now, once you started helping you help women, correct?
Women and men.
Okay, so tell me what you help them do.
So those that want to transition, so I have a 3T, it's called a 3T framework. So a lot of times, most times, people either want to transition out of where they are now from their employer. They want to transition out of their current role. So transition out, they want to transition up. Maybe they want to go to the next level, or they want to transition the skills that they have. So like me, right? I had recruiting skills, but I transitioned those into my own business. I still have a skill set, because oftentimes people think, well, I'm too old to do something else, or it's late in life and I don't want to do anything else. All these other things that come. Starting over doesn't mean starting from scratch, right? You take what you have. It's mobile. They're skills. They're yours. And you leverage them and you use them, right? To do something else. So I help them either transition in, up, out, and to do something that they enjoy, that's more fulfilling, where they have an impact. They can contribute at a high level and get paid. You don't have to be miserable.
I love it. Yeah. So now, staffing agency. So you have a staffing agency. So tell us, when did that start and how that is going?
Sure. So I actually had an agency back in 2008. It's called SRS Consulting, and named it, my daughter's name is Shantia Renee Smith, so SRS. And this is when there was Silicon Valley was popping off and all these new tech startups. And what happened was I was, as a contractor, I worked at UPS, when I was doing recruiting, I was working at all these different companies, did such a great job there. We actually created a tech hub. That's when they were on everybody was trying to be like Google and have bean bags and ping pong tables and all this. So we created one for UPS, and I was able to fill it with like 25 people, and never forgot that. And so chairman of the board contacted me and said, hey, there's a company, Silicon Valley, da 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 da. So I just started an agency and I started filling it, but I didn't know business. I knew how to recruit, but there's more to business than just doing the work that you know how to do. There's other parts of it. So that didn't, I wouldn't say it was a failure. It was a learning lesson. And so I never forgot that, and I enjoyed it. And so I brought that back, 2020 when the pandemic hit. There were a lot of people out of work. So I had the skill set to help people with their resumes and LinkedIn profile and tell them and these are people that hadn't thought of looking for a job for years. And so then not only did I help them with their skill set and how to transition and how to position themselves, how to package their skill set, but then I had companies, all these companies that I had worked for. And I said, hey, I got some people here. And I just start matching, almost like, swiping on Tinder, not, matching people. So I matched them. And I was just doing it because I knew how, and it was fun. And, it was something I was doing on my own. Nobody was telling me to do it. And it became overwhelming. So I had to put a number on it, to get people who were serious and not just curious, right? And so I created a staffing company and start working with clients and doctors' offices and dentists and filling their staff and all of that. So it's been fun.
I love it. I love it. So now you target medical facilities. Mm-hmm. Is that your target? Okay. Yeah. Now, what have you found as it relates to the pandemic and after post-pandemic, as far as staffing agencies are concerned? What have you found that is the case?
Well, right now there's a global talent shortage. I mean, there is lots and lots of conversations happening at the White House, in government. I've been a part of some of those conversations, specifically around nurses. There's a contract I'm working on at this very moment where trying to, help them figure out, and I say them, part of the government, but I mean, not that I'm anybody, but just, here locally, and it trickles up, what are we going to do? How are we going to kind of fix this? I don't know that there's a fix, like a Band-Aid or anything like that, but we have to take care of people. We have to figure out what the needs are and how do we go about this, because it's only going to get worse. And so from an agency perspective, and using my background, I think for me, it's more around retention. Why not keep those that are already there performing at a high level? They want to be there. And take care of those, take care of the people you already have, right? Talk to them. What is the need? What can we do? If they want more money, give it to them. You got it, give it to them. If they want less out, like, we have to talk to them. We can't just sit back, at a table in a boardroom and decide, here's what we're doing. We need to be out there in the forefront, talking to people, talking to nurses, and seeing, what can we do? I will share that one of the thoughts is the immigration reform, bringing in, people from other regions to help us out with this talent shortage. I think eventually that's going to happen. But from my perspective, I think if we don't take care of those that we already have here, then I think that's a problem. It's kind of like being in corporate and you hire somebody on the outside and I'm sitting right here. Like, right. You didn't even think about me.
That's very interesting, because one of the things that we talk about a lot that we used to talk about when I was in nursing is how the retaining of talent was not there. And you talk about paying them more, but what would happen is we would get a 3% raise every year, right? Mm-hmm. And 3% was nothing compared to what the newer nurses were coming in and they were making. The newer nurses were coming in and they were making more. If you stayed at that same organization, you got paid significantly less.
Wow.
Than those that were coming in. And their attraction Because like when I went from one hospital to another, the attraction was the money. I mean, they were like, well, we'll pay you more money. We'll pay you $2 more than what you're making. What are you making there? I'll pay you $2 more. That was how I was able to advance to the level of payment that I had or the salary that I had prior to. Outside of that, I would be getting paid 3% every year for the ones who are loyal, who stay there with you and not. So how do they bridge that? What do you think are some of the solutions to that?
That's excellent. Excellent question. It reminds me of corporate because the same thing happens. It's either 2 or 3% during your performance review. And, they're sitting there telling you all the negative things, right? And then they want to give you 2%, but inflation then went up to 8.5. Make it make sense. Make it make sense because the math is not math. How am I supposed to buy some oxtails and they $21.99 for a pack? I don't eat meat. I'm just kidding. Y'all listening. I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying my daughter does. She loves oxtails. That's the nastiest thing. Everything. Let me move on. Y'all nurses. Anyway, how am I supposed to buy stuff? How am I supposed to get some gas? How am I supposed to pay my rent? How am I supposed to pay my mortgage? And you're going to give me 2%? I don't even get a cost of living increase. So what you just shared is exactly what happens in corporate. That's why I speak from a retention point of view. And people will hop around for $5. I'm on TikTok. I talk a lot over there about, we talk money over there. And I talk about job hopping. And I get a lot of flack from people. But the thing about it is people that's older. Stop telling people they need to move. How are they going to make it? How are they going to make it? And people who do exactly what I'm telling them in the comments, Kelli, I did it. They gave me $20,000 more. I got $25 more an hour. Because I know it works because I did it. I'm not going to tell you something I didn't do. The reason why I was able to work at Accenture and Starbucks and AT&T and Bank of America and Coca-Cola and Microsoft and Samsung, because I moved around and I wanted more money every time and I got it. You got to do what you got to do. You can't let them dictate the quality of your life. Really? That
part. Anna Lee Partridge said, emotional quotients are critically low in many companies. Further, the misplacement of non-medical leadership drastically negatively impacts retention. And that is so true because there are people that come in and they don't understand exactly what it takes. I remember I was talking to a COO and he was really, really not happy with me. He said, we had like the acuity in our emergency department was just really unreal, right? We had these subsets of sections, right? Where you had the lower acuity, you had the higher acuity. And so we had these higher acuity emergency department patients that were coming in. There were, and a 3-to-1 ratio is really too much, honestly, right? And so then they would have them have a 4-to-1 ratio in that high acuity. And I was like, that's too much. And he was like arguing me down, but he's never worked it. Right. I worked it. Right. I know what you're supposed to do. Right. Exactly. And so understanding that is super, super important for sure. Yeah. I know that you have a hard stop and I wanted to address your change in your diet. So why did you change your diet? Tell me a little bit about that.
My diet? What you mean the change from
your change from eating meat to not eating meat?
Oh, that was that was way back. So when I relocated from Illinois to Georgia, this was in the mid 90s. I lived with my aunt who was married to a Muslim. So at home, we ate everything from the rooter to the tutor, girl, everything. I mean, my dad, they killed coon. Like, what is a coon? What is a coon? They ate everything. So I was used to eating everything. But when I moved in with my aunt, who was married to a Muslim, they didn't eat pork or anything. So that was kind of the start. Okay. And then I stopped eating beef and pork. And I just went to chicken and fish and all of that. And then as I kind of got on my own and I started learning things and learning my body and learning myself, I went to straight pescatarian. Then I went to, I travel a lot. So I went to, I think it was Japan, and there was this koi pond and there was all these fish, beautiful. And they was looking at me and I was like, I eat you. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I felt so bad. I know, I'm nuts. I'm nuts. Anyway, I'm like, I eat you all the time. And so I'm serious. I'm telling you the truth. And I went home and I couldn't eat fish anymore. I couldn't eat anymore. So now, and it's not easy. I was just telling my trainer, I'm like, what can I eat? And so anyway, I love it because there's a lot of things, and I think society has become a lot more health conscious now, and so there's a lot of you have more options now. And so what I do now, I'm a salad girl. I've always been that way. I love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. And it's not just because of my eating habits now, but I've always loved salads. So I do a lot of salads. I am trying to go raw, not there yet, but yeah, I mean, there's tons of options. I like the way I feel. I like the way my skin looks, like my lashes grow. Like I don't have to wear mascara. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love that too. That's the one thing that I do have to say about being more. And I'm pescatarian, and I want to eventually transition into full vegan. But I feel amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. So anyway, Kelli, tell them where they can find you.
Listen. First of all, thank you so much for having me. You're amazing. You are just amazing. Such a sweetheart. Always have been since the day that I met you. Excited for your conference coming up. Gonna kill it. I can't wait. Can't wait. You can find me. I am Kelli Jackson, Kelli with an I, everywhere, every platform, wherever you want to find me. I am there. Yeah, come kick it with us. We meet every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go to my YouTube channel, see all of our live sessions. We have a great community over there, really supportive, really helping each other. And yeah, reach out to me also. You can also go to attractopportunities.com because I am a full believer that you can attract opportunities to you. There's 11 million opportunities open right now in the world. Everything has fallen from the stock market to gas prices going up, but the job market hasn't been touched. It's the lowest ever in 52 years. So attractopportunities.com.
Well, thank you, Kelli, for coming on. You are amazing. You have the ability to be able to soothe and just really be a comfort in any situation. Like every time I talk to you, I feel more confident. And so we do have the Six Figure Nurse CEO conference that's coming up. It's February 24th and 25th. If you want to leverage your knowledge, your power, especially those of you out there that are preceptors and those of you out there are educators. Those of you can create a side hustle or completely transition out and be a coaching consultant. So if you want to learn how to work from your computers anywhere around the world, make money and own your own time, this is the place to be. I ask that you like and share this podcast again, and everything is in the show notes for you to be able to reach out. So you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.